So I've put on some good miles on the Quiet Cat, and you know, I I've really pushed it. I've pushed it up super high inclines. I've had it in the best, fastest gears going downhill. It's just so versatile. It can go anywhere. So when you're first starting with pretty much any e-bike, you're going to have gears. So you'll have right here, you can see 1, 2, 3. And this is pretty much, I've seen quite a few e-bikes. This is pretty much how it works on all of them. There is like a walking mode too. I'm not sure why I can't get to it. But what I would suggest is go somewhere near the middle. If you have maybe 6 speed, maybe do 4. When I first start out, or when I have someone try this for the very first time, I have it in 3rd. Now that being said, just like a 10 speed, this has, it's kind of, it's not that complicated, but it has 2 different sets of gearing. It has the e-bike set, which 1 is the least amount of help, and 5 is the most amount of help. And then they have the, just like a 10 speed. This is an 8 speed, where 1 is the easiest to pedal, and 8 gives you the most resistance. So for me, 90% of my riding is done right here, in 6th gear, either in 3rd or 4th gear. You will learn with e-bikes that if you're not going the right speed and you try to shift these gears, the mechanical gears, there'll be a lot of skipping. Like, you know, if you spend any time on a bike, it's like when you change gears at the wrong time, right? Let's say you're going up a hill and it's starting to get really tough and you're like in 5th gear and you think, oh man, I got to put it in 1st gear. And then you crank it to 1st gear and it goes, you know, it's hard for it to do that. I've found that with e-bikes. So you're going to want to find a sweet spot. For me, just, you know, up and down hills, your average bike ride, even through a meadow or a field or something like that, your average bike ride, the 6 and the 3. Again, I've seen other e-bikes that go up to like 10 or even 15 on the mechanical gearing. I'd go at like 2/3 or 3/4 of the way up for most of the riding. The throttle is cool. I really don't use it that much because it is pedal assist. When I use the throttle the most is, let's say I'm at a stoplight. If I'm at a stoplight and I want to get across really fast, typically what I'll do is I'll put it in like 4th gear here, and then right when the light turns green or whatever and I know it's safe, I'll hit this and pedal right away to just pick up speed and get going. Other than that, you know, I might use it on an extremely steep incline. We'll see. I'm going to go up a couple here on this video, and I'll tell you if I did or not. Most e-bikes these days come with lights. I just bought these cheap ones from Walmart. And I really don't do, especially in the summertime, I really don't do that much riding when it's dark out because the sun's out most of the time anyway. The fender is a must. You know, it's kind of cheesy and that, and maybe it takes away kind of from the cool look of the bike. I think it still looks cool, but these have saved me really well. One thing is if you wash an e-bike, it's tricky. I haven't had very much success getting all the water out of like the battery compartment when I wash the bike. Another thing that I've noticed is, like, you see I got one reflector there. That's the only reflector I have left. The reflectors have come off the pedals from beating up on the bike. The pedals are lasting you know, they look pretty good, but obviously there's wear. I've been greasing up the chain a bunch. The chain looks pretty good overall, and it pretty much lives in that, like I say, number 6 anyway. The brakes are great. They're easily adjustable with Allen wrenches. It's really easy to do. Well, let's get it out and ride it and see. I'll show you some stuff. We're at a pretty steep incline, and I have the gear wrong. I'm way too high, so I'm going to put it in 5th. The one thing that I've learned about the Quiet Cat, or e-bikes in general, is that they always seem to have more power than you're going to give it credit for when you're going up a hill. The typical things that you do from riding bike after years by like switching to a lower mechanical gear or trying to readjust your weight, maybe tip forward and try to dig in, are actually not what you should do when using an e-bike. You should just use the throttle, pedal, and stay seated back. And you might even get to like a crawl, and we'll see if it works here, because I should really be like in 3rd mechanical gear, and then it would go up this no problem. And I'll do both, but this is the first time we'll go up in a high mechanical gear. We got on 5. All right, so now for me to put, this is a heavy bike. I don't even know if I could, yeah, I don't even think I could get it started. I mean, it'd be really hard. I don't think I could. So here we go. I'm gonna hit the throttle to start and start going. Okay, I'm pedaling. See if I can kick it down a gear. There we go. I got the throttle. I'm just sitting here. I'm slowly pedaling. All the times where I would panic and think I'm not gonna make it, I'm not doing that. I'm just sitting back, and boom. We made it up, no problem. Now, once you get to the top, you're gonna be going way too fast, so you gotta be careful about that. Now, we'll go back down the hill here, and I'll show you how easy it is if you're in a low mechanical gear. So, on the way down here, I'm gonna switch down to 3rd gear, so it gives the bike time to switch the mechanical gears, and we've switched into that now. Now granted, I could go into 1st, but we'll do 3rd just to show you how much easier it is. So, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it in 5th. Now this incline is really steep. I'm sure all you know that it just doesn't show on video, but if you look at the landscape around here, the top of that hill is maybe 40 feet above my head as I sit. And the length of this is probably 40 yards. So maybe 15 yards in the air and 40 yards gone. So we got it in 5th. We got it in 3rd mechanical gear. Again, I'm going to start with this, and it's just going. See, my pedaling makes it so much easier, and it doesn't even stall. So that's the thing. When you start getting close to the top of the hill, I can't say that enough, and you feel like you're going to stall, and you feel like you have to switch and you do all that, do not do that. Stay back in the seat, keep your finger on the throttle, and I've really gone on some incredibly steep inclines, and I have some more video that I'll show you of some like rooted inclines that I can go up no problem at all, but I did have to learn not to panic near the top when I thought that I wasn't going to make it. Okay, so another little incline. I have it on my normal 6 mechanical gear and 3 electric gear. I'm just gonna boost it up to 5. And with the same amount of pedaling, we'll get up this no problem. And quickly as well. Now when I start to get to the top, I quickly go down because you'll accelerate a lot of speed and really fast. I know there's a crazy root system right here that I usually hit this pretty hard and do a nice jump, but bumps, roots, rocks, none of that matters. This thing goes over it all. I know my brakes are squeaking a little bit. I just replaced them, so it's in the front. Just need to be wore down a hair. Okay, so now where we're going is to another really steep decline, and we're going to go up and down it. There was a group of people out here, so hopefully they're not there anymore. All right, now for braking, my right hand is the back brake. My left hand is the front brake. You really don't want to ever start with your front brake. You want to, especially if you want to stop fast, you want to clamp on with your back and then hit your front. But just hitting your front is going to make you do what they call an endo, and that's no bueno. So stay on the back brake and then feather the front if you need to really stop. But be careful and know that you could easily flip over. Just cruise along here. We'll show you this incline. The decline we just went down. Now, on a normal bike, you'd really probably want to gear up for this. On this bike, we're not going to have to do anything special outside of my normal 3 gearing and 6 mechanical. If I feel like I'm getting in trouble and I'm not going to have enough power, that's where the throttle comes in. And at this speed, at this incline, without me pedaling, we can easily get up. Now with the pedaling, it does help a lot. And I would suggest trying to do slow inclines, because it's definitely, I'm just going to say it again, it's definitely not natural. If you've ridden bikes your whole life, it really doesn't feel natural. Right here, where I'm having troubles, I would start to panic normally. I might stand up, I might try to switch gears, and I've learned that if I do any of that, I will just fall or get off the bike. If I just keep the throttle down, keep pedaling, keep seated back, I can make it up a huge incline at one of the highest mechanical gears and just an average, the middle e-bike gear. Come on, wear down a little bit. So there's another incline coming up, so let's get over to it. This one's really steep. Poplar, burl, or I think it's cottonwood burl. There's a chunk I want to get. It's right here. Look at that poplar burl. Wonder if you can see that. So this that we just went down, you might think that's a pretty steep. Is someone behind me? No, that's the burl. Okay. So like on this one, I definitely want to kick it down to at least 3rd gear. We'll put it on 5 just to make it as easy as possible. You can tell I'm already faster. I'm going to pedal nice and easy because it's pedal assist. See that? It's almost too much. It's so easy. So easy to get up inclines. Now I made a mistake there, and I've mentioned it before, is you got to get out of that high gear. You got to get out of that high gear when you get to the top of the hill. because if you pedal or touch a throttle or anything without all that resistance, you just go too fast. But there's a much gnarlier hill right up here. We're going to keep it in third mechanical gear. I'm going to put it on 5. So you can tell right when I barely start to pedal, you might even hear it. It engages like turbo mode. And I'm not building up speed on purpose. I'm trying to get up to this as slow as I can. And now we're going to slowly pedal up this. We're not going to care. I can go straight up these routes if I want. No problem. Right? That was super easy. I clicked it back down. It sounds like my rotor might be a little bit warped. I'll just continue along here. See how far this group is up. Still don't see anybody. I'm going to put it in my 6th mechanical gear where I like to be. I hear the kids now. So, I think I'm going to go down this hill here, turn around, go back up it. Yeah, the kids are over there. Okay, so we're going to turn around here. Now, we're at the base of a very steep hill, and I've gotten myself in that predicament that I've talked about before, where I have a high mechanical gear, which isn't very easy to get up something that's, I mean, hopefully it shows on here. I mean, it's that tree, that pine tree right there has got to be 25 or 30 feet above my head, and this is probably only 15 yards to that root up in the trail. So the way I started is I hit the throttle to go up, I start pedaling, and I'm not going to panic, right? It's going to go slow. It's not going to like it. I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to stay on the throttle, stay back, and I got it. Now, it wasn't easy. That was not easy. But if I would have panicked or stood up or tried to change gears or anything, I'd have had to put a foot down. So let's get into the 3rd mechanical gear. I pedal a little bit here. Again, sorry about the brakes. I just switched them. But they're nice. Okay, now with this gearing, we're going to want to make sure right when I get to the top that I don't do it. But look at how easy this is. I don't even have to touch a throttle. Pedaling casually. Okay, before I hit the peak, I'm going to go down to 4. I'm going to hit 3. I'm going to switch my mechanical gear to 6 where I like it. And we're just going to haul butt out of here. So let me make sure this is on. It is. Turn on my music. I got some ideas for this. I need like a GoPro 7 or a DJI, one of those pocket Osmos, but I'm working on it. So that will help with the shakiness. But for now, this is what I got. We're gonna put it in 4 because I got plenty of battery and I want to go fast. Okay, I know I got that hill coming up.